I just put a bunch of almonds and nuts down, and these crows were circling around for 5 minutes, like in a 2-block radius, and let the whole neighborhood know. I'm hearing the crows way over there in that neighborhood, communicating with these guys, because these guys are saying there's food over here because I just put food down. Straight up like a conversation going on between these crows. Oh, one of them just flew over there to those guys. Dude, there's like a full conversation happening here. Conversation of crows, bro. Y'all can go to your peanuts. You don't have to sit up there. Okay. They're really being vocal about that. Might be dog. This might be Zukov that might be noticing. Let's see. God damn, Bobby, that boy ain't right. Oh. Every more coming out from that way. There's like packs of crows. Some this way. Some like over that direction. There's some over in this direction. And there's 3 of them over here. Because these 3 live in this little area. Oh, see a little squirrel over there. Just smoked a Thai Delta cigarette and 3 pulls. Damn, dude. Damn. Damn. Oh, my jackets are in there still. Shit. I want those. Those will be important. Those crows go down yet? Oh, nope, now they did. Oh, sure. Go grab the peanuts after I leave. Cool. Alright. This will be good. Maybe. I got a little bit of that going on. Cardboard shit. Cheers, meal. Oh, wait. Forgot to close the door. You're a John boy. I'm only a short boy. Dude, I'm only like 3 inches taller than you. I'm not really that tall. Well, in comparison to you. It's kind of thing from last night and shit. And I mean, frankly, I just kind of like feel more, in a weird sense, kind of validation, you know, for my own opinion, more or less on that. Mainly just because, like, I was looking up about articles on that fucking thing, and you even sent me one, where it confirms that damn stupid thing was not even like some sort of, like piece of espionage and shit. It was really just like some research equipment that was meant for meteorological monitoring that fucking literally drifted off course and into American airspace and Canadian airspace, basically. Literally what the fuck it was. Which was my Occam's razor assumption literally the entire time, and wow, it was correct. And my whole thoughts about, like, the American brainwashing that happens due to the Pentagon and the CIA when it comes to manufacturing consent just was proven right. Again. It's like, and I end up feeling like I'm the crazy one. Because it's just like, I mean, there's like a legit zeitgeist in the country where you literally can't say anything bad about America. You just can't. Unless there's no other country being talked about or nothing else being, like, if it's just like a discussion on the U.S., you could talk shit about the U.S. at that point. But if there's a discussion about any other country, then America could literally do no wrong. They are the angels, and, and you're just a stereotypical, like, Genghis or something like that, or a tanky or something, if you're just considered, or just basically ruled off as a naive retard. Or something else in between, just a China loyalist, buying the narrative, or whatever the fuck, and just ruled off as a crazy person. And it's just like, I mean, I was also like kind of, like listening to Paul's stream from last time that he did, and, especially when it comes to like because he was talking about, his own sense of just kind of being like the hot take guy sometimes. And, like, honestly, at least especially for me, in my opinion, it's just like, there's a reason why, I guess in a sense, people like Paul and I, tend to kind of feel vindicated, even when everyone's kind of ostracized you about it. Because, I mean, you end up kind of smelling bullshit first, frankly. A lot of it is due to the fact that, like, I can sense a pattern. I can see it. I mean, and is it not obvious that there's a pattern with this? Because, like, America's been doing this since World War II. Creating false flags, stowing up Red Scare tactics, which they've been doing that since the 1900s. Like the 1910s. Like, there's a sense of a Red Scare that is perpetrated, and it was predominantly used against the Soviet Union. And after the Soviet Union's collapse, the Red Scare kind of went away for a little bit. But the Red Scare never truly went away because there was always talk about Cuba and, Venezuela. And, they were still kind of softly about China. And then eventually later down the line, it became far more prominent of a Red Scare towards, at that point afterwards. And from there, it's just been used as a predominant tactic to normalize and desensitize people to be more essentially bigoted and more so normalized to the idea of war and to the idea of being discriminatory and being bigoted and essentially dehumanizing anyone that might be a quote Chinaman. We already see this ever since COVID started, right? Like, we already see a spike in Asian hate crimes just because of COVID. You don't think shit like this is gonna rise, due to those type of things? Because of course they do. It's like, there's gonna be plenty of, like, there was a bunch of random Uncle Fuds that literally thought they could shoot that balloon down with a varmint rifle. Like, AR-15s and shit. It's like, that's how, like, stooped up and paranoid people got. Like, they thought they were literally being invaded and there should be a declaration of war. There were people calling for that. Maybe not the government, but a lot of people in America were calling for this shit. And that's what our government wants. They want people to be more stirred up in that type of mentality, so it's a lot easier to justify a war. Because our government is a pro-war, militaristic, hegemonic state. I see the fucking pattern. I know what the fuck it's about. It's not like some sort of weird, coinkydink, to just be like, no, I don't buy it. Because I don't. And that initial claim that it was a spy balloon directly came from the Pentagon. The Pentagon always fucking lies. So why should I trust them now? They always lie against the American interest. They always do that. Fundamentally, the Pentagon is meant to lie to the American people for the best interest of the military-industrial complex. That's what the Pentagon's there for, strictly. To lie to you and to brainwash you into military and foreign interventions and escalations of war. It's always been that way, ever since 9/11 especially. But ever since World War II, at least, whenever the Pentagon was first built, I think during the 60s or something. So it's like ever since that institution was built and formed, that's always what it's been about, strictly. And it will never meld away from that. It's always going to be built against your self-interest as a citizen of not just this country, but the fucking planet. Same for Chinese citizens as well. There ain't no love for the Chinese government, notice that difference. And that's another caveat. It's like you can't, have like a slight little defense for like Chinese people or like the domestic citizens and the populace of the Chinese state. You can't have any defense about that shit, even if you don't like their government, because I sure shit don't. I don't even like any government, frankly. I'm a, collapse all nations and have a one world government fucking mentality. Unify man, that's what I'm about. Abolish borders and shit. That's my idea. So how can I be like pro-nation this or pro-nation that if that's my true philosophy of what I really feel? Fuck all countries. Like, fuck nationalism. Like, I'm not for that shit. I'm an internationalist. But it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, having, a conviction that is super critical of any state and what they say. China too included. But, at least in this case, America especially, because they're the ones who started this whole fucking weird balloon thing. It wasn't China that did it. Yeah, sure, they launched it for their monitoring stuff. But yeah, crazy-ass wind is going to whoop, fly it one way when they intended it to go that way. And then it went that way. I mean, it's a fucking balloon. Tell me, how are you going to guide that thing? It literally gets pushed by wind currents. You can't guide it anywhere. Like, the wind currents are going to push it wherever it's going to go. So, in 1945, corporations paid about 8% taxes. Now it's about 15%. It's called consolidation, weaken individuals to strengthen companies and government. That's terror built into the system. Exactly. And it's built into the entire zeitgeist to continue to stew up more paranoia and more terror and more obedience to the fucking system, to the domestic populace of those countries, America and China included. They both do this. And also think about this. You don't think that the Pentagon and the Chinese government were colluding a little bit about that? Because they were. They were tracking that thing for a few days, and it was only until it reached Montana is when they became public about it. You don't think they were talking back and forth about that for those few days? Of course they were. They were, absolutely. China was like, hey, we're letting you know we're launching these things. And America was like, okay. And they were like, oh, they accidentally flew in Alaska. And they're like, oh, we better start monitoring these. What's going on with this? And they were talking back and forth. They were figuring something out how to deal with that situation, which is probably why they didn't shoot it down. Because America's like, hey, it's in our airspace. We're going to shoot it down, likely. And China's like, hold up. Maybe we could try to, still use it for monitoring at the very least, or fucking, try to get whatever research we can out of it, or whatever the fuck. Whatever they were talking about, I don't know. But I guarantee you they were having a back and forth to what to do with it. Because, if it was such a threat, they would have shot that thing down while it was over, Canada or some shit. Or in Alaska or something. But, why was it just, it's such a big ordeal out of nowhere? It's because there's meant to be used as, a form of, inciting more paranoia. That's it. Doesn't mean that, China's good. I don't, fuck China. Fuck Xi Jinping, that fucking, yellow belly Winnie the Pooh looking fuck. He ain't no friend of mine. As far as I'm concerned, him and Joe Biden can go fucking hang on a tree together. And while we're out, throw Putin in the mix. As far as I'm concerned, those three could go hang. In fact, they should. In Minecraft. To add a little emphasis on that, I guess. Minecraft. Spit red pills everywhere. I don't even think these are meant to be, quote, red pills or anything. Like I said, it's just a pattern of, it's just for me, it's just kind of recognizing a historical pattern that our own nation's done. And China has its own pattern. They're expansionists. They're imperialists. I don't like the fact that they're expanding, how they are. Or at all. Just to make it a little equal. The fact that they're authoritarianistic state to the point they're making their surveillance state a global thing, not just a whole international thing or a nationalized thing. Their whole like subjugation against anyone who isn't essentially Han Chinese and making them a second class citizens to some degree, or at least like, I mean, they have like legitimate like far right problems similar to the U.S. Only it's like Han Chinese level ethnic type of cultural divides. Like, because there's all sorts of different like ethnic groups within the mainland of China, and one of them being like the Han Chinese, for example, and they're like the predominant group, I think, in China, from what I understand, and because of that, there's like this sense of Han supremacy or like Han nationalism that is domestic within China that essentially views, especially like the Uyghurs, Tibetans, etc., as essentially like second-class citizens, and that's also partly why they have such fucking policies that are abhorrent against them. They're fucked up people. Like, at least the government. They're fucked up. So, never gonna see me fucking defend their government. Taiwan's remnants of the Chinese Republican government mixed with local Taiwanese people. Yeah. And there's also, and there's a lot of historical, reasoning for that shit, what's going on there, because of the Chinese Civil War, but I mean, it's not like something that, needs to be escalated to a war, because like that Civil War was a long time ago. That was like in the fucking 50s. Like, there's ways that can be done diplomatically when handling shit. And the main reason why China wants it is because of microchip production. It's because it's a place where a lot of chips get produced. And U.S. gets a lot of it built out of Taiwan. So there's an economic reason why America has a strong interest in Taiwan. Not that I don't necessarily disagree with having an economic interest in that sense. Being like, yeah, they produce something that we need, so let's have an economic, mutual benefit. I mean, I'm not against those ideas. But it does add a little bit of, complications with, geopolitics too, unfortunately. And that's, where a lot of this comes from. It's, a lot of it's just, like geopolitics that both governments are doing to each other. Should have held Republican Chinese against the communists directly. Did he know that they worked together during the Japanese invasion? Like, a lot of communists and nationalists at the time kind of like, quote, settled differences for like a short period of time to fight the Japanese because they saw them as a bigger threat. So, I mean, like, they were mutually like helpful. Hey! Shut up! Hey! 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 There literally are just crows, dude. Hey. Hey! Stop it! Hey! Hey! Knock it off! Really? Alright. Shut up. Damn ass goof. He meant after the Japanese threat was over. Well, says the Republican Chinese had ties to fascist Germany. It did. Yeah, the Germans helped collaborate by giving them, like, different licenses for weapon manufacturing. Like the Chinese Mauser pistol, for example. Hey! Knock it off! Hey! Hey! Does Zukov snuggle you at night? Sometimes. That was a fucking hard shit. Ooh. It's like if that's I'll go search for food at any place he shouldn't. Well, I keep my door closed in my room when it's just him and I, so he doesn't go running around anywhere because he doesn't really have much anywhere to go. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, at least kind of put a little bow of the whole the fuck up alone thing, I guess. I mean, I definitely, the whole animosity or anything to like anybody, obviously, on that shit. Well, honestly, like, frankly, just think it's that fucking big of a deal. I mean, also, just considering, like, with bullshit from like work when with like what's been dropping with that. Amongst other shit. I mean, it kind of felt like, there's just like other angst that was just bubbling up. That just kind of, popped with that one a little bit. And to be fair, I did kind of go into that one already, like a little popping. Because I just like, because I was like, I was talking to Harley, I mentioned it to Harley first. And mainly at Ripsy, too. I was telling him that. And then I was just like, what, I don't even bat that. Like, I just kind of went right off the bat, just like, nah. But whatever. I mean, either way, I don't. I just don't. Because I just don't believe anything that ever comes out of Pentagon. Because why should I? Because like I said, their interest is meant, to lie to the American people to justify and normalize, more escalation of wartime efforts and militaristic incursion. That's what their existence is about. So why should I believe a fucking word they say? When everything about what they advocate for is how do we get ourselves militarily involved in a particular conflict. You could publish a cookie recipe and I would say that's not a cookie recipe. Okay, that's a little too far. I mean, if the Pentagon was like, today, like on, the special occasion, we'll like release a cookie recipe of like the favorite cookie, as a poll or something. Like if they did a poll of like everyone working at the Pentagon and their like most favorite cookie was like a snickerdoodle, and they released like a snickerdoodle recipe, or some shit, and I mean, whatever. I would believe it then. It's like, all right, it's a snickerdoodle recipe, whatever. But you might be right. I don't know. They might be saying that there's like missing ingredients, so I might not believe it because they might miss a step or two, or they might say there's an ingredient that doesn't need to be in there. So, yeah. Remember that one time Bandit stole your burrito and I ate that? Well, that was actually Zukov that ate my burrito. Not Bandit. You helped Mom make a pinto bean stew and it's awful. You dislike pinto beans? Not a fan of pinto beans, huh? I mean, I could be down for some beans. But yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of pinto beans either. Baked beans? Yeah, baked beans are pretty good. Oh shit. TJ's streaming. May God have mercy. May God have mercy on us all. Oh shit. What's going on here? Oh, what the fuck? Whoa! Yo, TJ, what's going on here? Whoa. 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 What's going on here?
Start really streaming here. Cool.
I also remember Zukov stole that chicken tender. That was Bandit. Bandit stole the chicken tender. Zukov ate the burrito. You're getting the pets mixed up. But yeah, Bandit ate the tender and Zukov ate the burrito. Dude, what in the hell is up with TJ? Look at him.
We had a guy, Victory.
Dude, what is this like face paint going on here? I love it. It's insane. It looks like it looks like, you know, a clown went back in time and integrated with Vikings and became like a Viking warrior or something. Like, or yeah, or maybe like a, you know, like some sort of like Irish, like Celtic warrior type of looking dude or some shit, or like some sort of like warrior shaman. Looks like a clown that decided to go back in time, become a warrior shaman, and then, you know, partake in glorious battle. That's like, that's essentially, it's kind of the general vibe and aesthetic I'm getting with this. I don't mean clown negative way. I just mean like an actual, like unironic, like, you know, like clown, like a jester. The swamp shaman. Yeah, this is straight up like some swamp shaman vibes going on here, but it's like a warrior shaman almost. He's kind of got like a little warrior shaman vibe going on.
$1 and says, thanks for making life suck less. Thank you for making life suck less. Because without you, who knows what I'd be doing?
Who knows?
You just made just now. That was woke, dude.
Well, that is woke. Well, since he just started, I'm assuming, you know, he's just gonna be doing this thing for a minute. I saw Matt watch on his thumbnail, so I'm assuming he's gonna be probably discuss that fuck. Oh, for lovely. Swamp shaman, the bog shaman too. I mean, a little bit. I feel like swamp shaman works more. Because the bog, like, would be more of, like... I know, like, there's, like, bogs and marshes tend to be, you know, like... I think it'd be in the south, but... I feel like that would be a little bit more something that would be kind of, like... Not super... Like, bogs aren't as, like, swampy as, like, outright swamps. Kind of more of like a very moist, like foresty marshland and shit. There's actually like kind of a few marshlands out here in Oregon and stuff that are pretty cool. Right here. What's this little meme? We're not loyal as dogs, but we don't tell the police where the drugs are. Hey. That is true. They might not be loyal as dogs, but they'll never tell the police where the drugs are. That is true. Unlike Zukov over here, I have a strong feeling about you there, buddy. Oh my god, you're in like the most perfect little ball. It's adorable. Aw. Look at you, so cute. Alright. I need a fucking bit of energy here. Got this from last night. Because these, I guess, are like some new rock stars, whatever. Because one of my coworkers has been drinking the shit out of them, and he says these are super fucking fire. I was like, you know, fuck it, I'll try them. They also have a recovery one that has like coconut water, apparently. I never tried the recovery ones. I actually don't know what the difference between these ones are versus these. Is it just like a different caffeine content? Well, this has it has like 3% juice, while this doesn't. Where's the... Oh, here it is. Yeah, it actually does have less content in here. Yeah, this one's 240 and this one's 160. Okay, yeah, so there's a little less in here, and... Yeah, there's a few different things. Yeah, they are a little different. Yeah. Yeah, there's different shit in this. Yeah, let me try this one. This one's like a peach strawberry. Strawberry peach. Oh my god, the smell of it is fire. What the fuck? Goddamn. Okay. That's fire. That is fire. Oh, that is fire right there. Oh, that is delicious. Okay, that's dangerous, bro. I could, like, chug that right now and be like, damn, son, that is delicious. That is legitimately delicious right there. Most energy drinks taste like Red Bull. And to me, Red Bull tastes like a refined piss. I mean, it definitely doesn't taste like... It tastes like strawberry peach for sure. Like, it's got strawberry peach. I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of energy drinks that much. I usually just go for coffee at this point, but every now and then I'll feel like a little sweet tooth and grab one of these, and I mean, I don't know, like, I usually get the flavored ones. Like, those ones actually tend to have at least a little something that isn't just like that energy drink flavor, basically. Because we don't really drink energy drinks for the flavor of them, obviously. We usually just drink it for the fucking caffeine. For the energy. But I want it to at least, you know, be tolerable. I don't want it to, like, absolutely taste horrible, you know what I mean? I know a guy who sells refurbished beer, and that's just a nice way of saying he sells piss in beer bottles. Please tell me you're joking. Ugh. Sounds horrible. The lady pisses in beer bottles and told to sell it as a cheap beer. Dude. I mean, like... I can understand, you know, fucking, you know, maybe making some straight up piss water shit, but like, I mean, literally just pissing in a bottle. He makes money off of videos. How did they not know? Like, can they, like, what? Can they really legitimately not tell? It's like one day they grab, you know, like, something that he makes, and then the next day it has, like, a darker color to it, or it's, like, clear or something. Like, and, like, oops. One-time customers from what I see. Oh, so it's, like, one time, so they, you know, pop it open thinking it's beer, and then realize it's literally piss, and then throw it away, and then get mad and never go back to him again. How has he not gotten his ass beat? How's he not, like, died? How's, like, someone not, like, come back to him with a bat or something to just, like, really, like, be like, you motherfucker, give me a picture! You know, like, I'm assuming that's happened at least 1 or 2 times. The man has a good sales pitch and almost got me once. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ, so he's a grifter through and through. Man, what the fuck? Man, that's just like... Just survives a one-of-a-kind man. I'm sure he is. What the fuck is this? What type of meme is this? Removing RAM from a computer while it's on. This visually represents the computer screaming as you chop off parts of its brain. Oh my God. Dude, holy shit. What the fuck? I'm just now imagining that computers unironically like screaming in torment now. Just utterly. Just utter torment. So what does that mean when you get like those big ass error screens? Does that mean it's just like your computer's just screaming at you. Well, I guess technically screaming an error at you, so. 4 minutes left. Nice. They have some good shit around now. Nice. That's a pretty decent burp right there, I tell you what. I like that. I think about making 2 double pans to finish it off. I mean, it doesn't necessarily seem too bad of an idea. Here. Viral homophobe who arrests PetSmart employees over a Pride Fed does it again. Again? Is he just one? Oh my god. Is he one of those dudes? I think you told me about this. I think you sent me this, but I didn't see it yet. But, here, let's watch it. Show you that video. I didn't see it. Yeah, you linked me it, but I never saw this.
Fruitcake. His name is Ethan Schmidt, excuse me, and he was like...
Oh my god, I recognize his fuck. Oh my dude, he was like the dude who was harassing like dare kids and like, you know, fucking a wig store for cancer patients at one point. Dude, there's like a, you know, he was harassing like kids from Dare, and like the kids from Dare were literally like fucking roasting him and like spit roasting the shit out of him and making a mockery of the fuck of this guy, dude. I mean, this guy is just a sad bitch. Like this dude basically loves getting humiliated in public. Like he goes out being like a dumbass hog and just like gets fucked on in public. Like this is like, I swear, like it has to be a kink for him.
I don't know if he was a surrogate for Carrie Lake. He considered himself a friend of Carrie Lake. I don't know how true that is. There are pictures of them together.
Oh god, is that Don Jr.? Oh god, dude. God, dude, the fucking weird sycophantic cult shit around this man. It's always like the same people that are around these motherfuckers, dude.
This dude went viral over the summer of last year because he was just needlessly harassing PetSmart employees during Pride. And he was lambasting them because they had a rainbow flag at one of the cashiers. And so he's back, seemingly at the same PetSmart, and he's just harassing them again. Like, this dude is a freak, and he genuinely needs a hobby and to get a life, but...
sadly, Mike, this is his hobby.
Let's see what he
I wish he had other hobbies, but no, this is what it is.
This time.
It's making a nuisance of everybody, you know, for everyone else.
Smart.
See if they still have that pride flag up.
See if they still...
Okay,
so it is.
The same PetSmart. I haven't seen this yet, obviously.
So he just, like, goes here and, like, off and on throughout the year and just harasses the fuck out of these... Like, are you serious, dude? Like, how has he not been, like, banned or arrested from PetSmart? Like, come on. Oh, was he actually just frozen there for a minute? Yeah, he was. He is. Is he? What's going on? Why are you not playing? It's not playing. It's... What the hell? Play. Boo. Is it... What? Is YouTube pooping on me? Really?
You need to...
No, you're not. Oh my god, man! What in the flying fucking ticky fuck? Seriously? I'll turn you off and then turn you back on, because you're being a dick. Come on, fuck you.
Okay. Not only do you need to stop being concerned with what other people do in the privacy of their own homes, but you need to not be so easily triggered by a fucking multicolored piece of cloth. I mean, I don't think that there's ever been anything so...
And honestly, if I'm assuming this guy is probably a Christian too, right? I'm assuming that he knows that historically that what was considered a pride flag now used to be a Christian flag back in the day. Or I can't get a cool hat like this. Iceland. I literally, I'm not kidding. I'm actually being serious. Iceland. See? If you can see that, yeah. I'm sure you can order it online, but yeah, that's where I got it. When I took my trip there back in, like, 2018.
Take up any amount of
2019.
mental space. I mean, can you imagine a piece of
2018.
cloth making you that enraged? To where you not only harass employees because you see that piece of cloth, but then you return a little less than a year later to check up and make sure that they removed the piece of cloth that offended you so much. It's
Honestly, I hope that PetSmart literally put up like 1,000 pride flags. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I want to see like pride flags literally like adorn every chunk of the fucking wall, dude. I want nothing but rainbows in there.
unhinged.
You guys still have that pride flag up?
Yes, we do.
Why is that? You guys are pedophiles?
No, we're not.
LGBT fascists?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm not even trying to like LGBT fascists? That doesn't even make sense. Unless you're a Nazi and gay. Like, unless you're a fascist and gay. Oh wait, it sounds like this Ethan Schmidt fuck. But like, I mean, unless you're like a fascist and gay, there's no such thing as a quote-unquote LGBT fascist, and even then that wouldn't even be a thing. You'd just be a gay fascist. Like, or, just... What?
They're just so unbothered by him, which tells me that he goes in frequently to check up. Oh, well, I'm driving by PetSmart. Better go harass them real quick just to see if they still have the flag up.
Oh, they do. Better, start saying something. And those PetSmart employees are just like... they probably are just like, checking that person out, and that employee looks over and sees that guy, and it's just like, oh. It probably looks at the customers like, oh god, it's this guy again. And the customers probably like look over like, oh, there's something about this dude, or they probably recognize him too and went, oh god, him again. And then they're just like, all just having to sit there and just deal with his bullshit. And the fucked up thing is that they don't have to deal with it. Like, they could just give him a trespass order and shit. Be like, nah, if you enter the premises, you're trespassing, you will be arrested. And honestly, they should fucking do that shit. Can we just have, like, some motherfucker just citizens arrest people like this? Like, seriously, when they start harassing, I just want, like, one of those people in the checks and be like, you want watch my stuff for a sec. Get out of line and turn around and be like, you want to start saying some shit, or you want to, kind of walk away? It then has, like, one of those extendable batons, and if he keeps talking shit, it's like, you want to say that again? I don't want to really repeat myself, and just, like, you probably want to just leave. Like, seriously, like, can we just go, like, have a motherfucker just do that? Like, when some dumb bitches like this, fucking start acting, It's like, seriously, I'm not even having, like, a remote of, like, irony in this. Like, I'm being genuine. It's like, oh, you got pride flags up, huh? So what, you a bunch of pedophiles supporting LGBT fascists, bitch? It's just like, alright, get the extendable baton. You better start walking out, start keep moving, get the fuck out of here, or else that head is not gonna exactly be, getting out here on its own. Go on, move along, come on. I don't think you want a few dents in your head. Move. Leave. It's for your best health.
I refuse to believe that people like this actually exist. Like,
they do. No, they honestly do. I'm being serious. These people actually fucking do. Like, I have seen people kind of like this who are a lot more, like, reserved and quiet. I mean, they're not as, like, blunt or confident, or I guess stupid enough, to be that vocal, but, dude, these people absolutely fucking exist. It's just like, this isn't just, like, something where it's an anomaly or, like, some weird trend that some idiots do on TikTok or some shit. This is a genuine thing. People genuinely do this.
it's so unreal that if this dude were a fictional character, I think it was written too unrealistically. Like, holy shit.
We're with the LGBT, dude.
Of course you are, because you're with the destruction of America. Because look at you, you're wearing a mask.
Can I get some liquor, please?
Do you guys support LGBT?
I'm just buying dog food.
I know, but do you...
That dude shaking his head is just like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm just buying dog food, dude. Go openly call anyone that thinks he looks trans. Well, You know, like I said, you know what my position was. You know, it's just like, I mean, again, can we just have some motherfuckers get a little citizens arresty and a little fiscal about this shit? Like, seriously. I'm not talking like, you know, full on like smackdowns or nothing. I mean, like, you know, get the fuck out of here or else, you know, there's gonna be more than verbal confrontation going on here, buddy. You know, like, seriously. I mean, like, they're just, like, I mean, for real. I mean, there needs to be a little bit more to stand up against these motherfuckers and shit. Like, because, I mean, seriously, there's one thing, you know, try to get them to, you know, leave the area and, you know, try to get them on trespass and shit, but they ain't gonna listen. They don't care what laws are. They're a bunch of fucking unlawful, degenerate pigs. They, you know, they don't go by law and order. So, you know, just, you know, like, use, you know, the law that is bestowed upon you to have the right to do a citizen's arrest and fucking address it accordingly. That's what I say. So, you know, instill some law and order in a motherfucker.
I'm just buying dog.
And meanwhile, you know, like, our nice gentleman here could just buy some damn dog food instead of, you know, worrying about some freak, you know, trying to harass him about, you know, pedophiles or whatever the fuck. That'll work against a coward like me, but someone like my wait for the cops because he thinks he's correct law's on his side. Well, it's not, because, I mean, if he's cited for trespass and shit, then the cops are gonna say, hey, just don't go there again. They're still gonna be on the store side.
Be the fuck alone.
At least to an extent.
You guys are never gonna take that flag down after the you know, my...
His citizens arrest and respond in kind. Well, sounds like he doesn't know what law and order is. Better lock them up, they don't know law and order, they're criminals, they're rapists, I assume some might be good people. Gotta lock them up, lock them all up, I say.
Got 10 million views last time.
Your video went viral because the overwhelming majority of people who saw it were laughing at you and they thought that you were an unhinged fruitcake. He's bragging about himself going viral. You literally went viral because people were so shocked at
how much of a report Nazi that you are, yeah. I mean, like, that's the reason why your shit went viral there, Eric. I mean, you know, it's just like, his shit went viral because, you know, most people, like, saw that as, like, an unhinged Nazi freak, you know, freaking out over, you know, the supposed LGBT mafia fascist agenda or whatever the fuck he thinks. I mean, it's just like, my mom's the one who knows the law, is a former cop, Hawk, and his understanding of the law. Well, his understanding of the law is, I am the law, and I enforce it because I was a cop. He still has that mentality. That's why he will think he's in the right. He'll just wait for his, you know, like, he would just wait for backup, you know, to just validate him. Like, that's what he thinks. He still thinks he's the law. Well, your mom actually knows what the fuck it is, and, you know, it has more, you know, merit to call herself the law, you know, than he does. Because she's the law. She grew up around it, basically. She absorbed herself in it, became one with it. What did he do? Just be like some state hog enforcer? Ooh. No lot of laws there. Probably breaking at least like 4 or 5 laws every goddamn day you're clocking off on shift there, bucko. Short of murder because he's buddy-buddy with the local hogs. Well, I'm sure they wouldn't actually arrest him for anything. The point, though, at least, you know, for him, is at least just whatever. I mean, who cares? The point, you know, really being is just that, like, it's, you know, it's about just, you know, hogs in general and how these motherfuckers act and operate. Because, honestly, cops are more likely going to defend them more so than, you know, the people who, you know, are getting harassed by these type of fucks. Like, cops are more likely to defend a harasser than harassed, you know, when it comes to circumstances like this. Like, most of the time. So, it's why I say, it's just like, you know, honestly, there is a level where it's like, yeah, you gotta just take fucking actions in your own hands. Fuck it, you got to, sometimes. And this is one of those cases where it's like, I mean, if I was in line and I was sitting there waiting to get some, like, dog food and shit, I would just be like, you know what, fuck this. This is wasting my time. I'm having to, like, you know, take it now an extra 20 minutes now because this fuck is wasting our time and shit. Nah, fuck this. It's like, I already got enough shit. I'm probably, like, on a lunch break, so, you know, now I'm gonna be late, you know, for clocking on back on work or some shit because my work is, you know, in between, you know, PetSmart and my house or some shit, blah, blah, you know. Like, who the fuck knows? I mean, that motherfucker be glad that, you know, that is the third person, and, you know, there's only 3 people in that fucking check stand, dude. It was like a fat, long-ass line. I guarantee you some motherfucker would have started popping off. and being like, the fuck are you, dude? And being just like, yeah, I don't care, like, who the fuck you are, what you believe, just quit fucking, harassing us and wasting our time and making it longer for us to check our shit out. Like, there'll definitely be some motherfucker out there starting to pop a little. That guy walked in on a slow day. He'd be glad it better be a slow day that day that he walked in. If it was a fucking busy, slammed ass day, oh boy, it'd be another thing coming for that motherfucker. Though, for the record, I agree. I'm not trying to, do a avocation of violence here. I'm saying, like, citizens arrest and just being like, hey, shut your shit up and get the fuck out of here. Or, yeah, there's going to be, more of a rude awakening because you're refusing to leave because at this point you're trespassing in this place. It's like, maybe the manager hasn't outright told you yet, but I already know that they're going to start saying that to you, so get the fuck out of here. I've worked in retail and shit, and as far as I'm concerned, that guy, fucking outright is trespassing by that point. The store might not have outright told him yet, but for all intents and purposes, at that rate, he has been fucking trespassing as soon as he started fucking harassing him like that. As soon as that, because she called up the manager, that's, that was her, going, and then picking up the phone or whatever. That's her calling the manager to let him know that he's trespassing to get the fuck out of there. Not sure, just scaring him. I would too. And frankly, I wouldn't justify the guy doing that, pulling it out, but I would understand it and I would fucking laugh. And I would say, you know what? Hey, maybe speak your mind a little more. This is like, if you're gonna speak your mind, fucking mean it and say it to the motherfucker's face. Oh, suddenly, that popping up out of nowhere is gonna make you scared, tuck your tail between your legs? Fucking bitch. Thought you were a man. Thought you weren't one of these pedophile queer weirdos or whatever the fuck. Is my southern coming out? I mean, I wouldn't because that's being an irresponsible gun owner, frankly. I mean, if you're someone who's a responsible gun owner, you don't just fucking throw that gun out whenever the fuck. You don't use that as an argument ender. That's never what it should ever be. Like, if you're carrying a gun just because you want to end a fight or end a fucking argument or some shit by like, you know what, well, and pulling it out, then that's not responsible. It's very irresponsible. So I don't justify that action. I mean, I could get it, and I frankly would kind of maybe look the other way, honestly. But, I mean, I still wouldn't justify the action. I mean, like, look, I get your point, but you really should not be doing that, dude. Because that could really be bad. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would say. It's like, please don't be doing that again. Like, I understand what you're trying to do, but you could have been like, you could have literally just like lift the shirt up and just shown it, and be like, hey, buddy, like the whole like thing where it's just like you got a holster, you can still carry it, just like, hey, packing, and just hide it again. Just let him know. Just do that. That's honestly more responsible because you're not pulling it out. You're just basically like, hey, I'm just letting you know. That type of shit. Just looking him in the eye and being like, let you know. Don't keep escalating this. That type of shit. That'd honestly be a lot more smarter because the only thing you're doing is just showing it. You're not, unholstering the fucking thing and starting to become a potential threat, to other people.
Unbelievably petty you are to harass these minimum wage employees over, again, a piece of multicolored cloth.
Our CEO congratulated.
Yeah, of course he did. Because you guys are Democrats, liberals.
My manager really got a lot. He got an award for that video.
The manager got an award for the video. So this is actually a relatively wholesome update.
Oh wait, so the manager got rewarded?
Folks, they don't even care. Like, anyone who works there, they probably just expect him to come in, so they're unbothered. He's just going to put a camera in their faces, say a bunch of, like, fascistic talking points, and then move on. But they handle it well every single time, and I think that he believes that he's going to be perceived as the hero, and maybe in his little bubble that is true. But the overwhelming majority of people, I would argue even, like, homophobic people, just...
I do think carrying a knife is a good idea with a pistol. I think it's just probably better than a pistol, personally, but I think that also just kind of depends on what area you live into. For me, I'd probably have, like, an extendable baton, because, they're concealable, they're only about this long when put away, and they extend about 3 feet, when you extend them out, and they fucking hurt. And because it's a very hurtful, brutal club, to use, it potentially can be lethal. Like, if you get, like, one good, like, with an extendable baton, just one good, like, just one good freaking hard, just massive hard, like, fucking hit on the back of the head, that would, I'm not even kidding, potentially just be a kill shot. Not saying to do that or advocation of it, but those extendable batons can be legitimately, like, they could fuck you up. Honestly, that's a very good self-defense weapon. Those extendable batons are so good. I love those things. I've accidentally tapped myself on a knee with one of those things, and I would be like, ah! Because my friend would be like, hey, I mean, it can't hurt that bad, and I just kind of lightly tapped his knee. He went, oh god, and just, like, fell on the ground. I'm like, it can't be that hard, so I tapped my knee, and I went, oh god, oh shit, and I fell on the ground, too. I was like, okay, don't tap your knee with that actually hurt. That's just like doing like a boop. I have a drum, like, like doing it like this. Instead of like a bam, it's just like like that, like a tap. And that shit hurt. So, yeah, those batons can be very brutal. Batons are blunt weapons. I prefer edge, but I understand why I use the batons prefer so you don't eat someone in one shot. Well, exactly. And also, I'm more about just incapacitating somebody. I don't want to try to kill somebody. Like, I just want to eliminate the threat as the threat. If that means that someone's down and, like, out for the count, basically, but they're still alive and, like, kind of squirming around all injured. Well, hey, you're going to live to, deal with another day. You're going to be fucked up and banged up and shit, but you're going to be fine. You're no longer a threat at that point, but you're banged up. So it's like that, like that's where I, think, for me, at least when it comes to fights, is acceptable. I'm not about, like, eliminate the threat, that means I'll be able to try to kill you. It's like, yeah, there's, like, I do play by there's no rules when it comes to fighting and shit, but that doesn't mean, like, kill somebody. Like, that's, like, the one rule I would, have. It's like, with my no rules bar thing, it's like the one rule is, don't try to kill a motherfucker. Like, as soon as they're, like, down and out, you got them. Maybe throw one or two more in there just for good, angst release, but after that, you're good, I go all out. Yeah, I mean, I would too. If I genuinely feel threatened, I will, but as soon as I, see that the threat that I was dealing with is no longer being a threat, I back up for a sec and assess the situation, and if nothing's a threat no more, then I BTFO. Once they're down, stop it in the heat of the moment. Yeah, in the heat of the moment, well, yeah, like, when shit, like, pops off, yeah, like, you're gonna go all out, but once they're down and, you're, like, on top of them, or you're, like, directly standing over them and shit like that, like, even in the heat of the moment, you'll be able to at least partially, like, subconsciously recognize that, got him, type of thing. It's like, alright, I won, so to speak. Or at least won enough, to back up for a second. At least take a breather, a timeout, so to speak. But either way, I mean, obviously, the best idea is to avoid those type of conflicts in the first place. But, I mean, sometimes, I feel like, shit like that just kind of pops out of nowhere. Like, when you got some stupid right-wing fascist fucktard, walking into a store harassing everybody and shit. It's like, if that was the case and I started seeing that, like happening in my store and shit, someone being that aggressive, and I was at least off the clock, yeah, I would absolutely step the fuck in. And if I was on the clock, I'd just tell them to fucking leave, and I will call a manager and say, you're trespassing, you need to get out of here, and I'm not going to serve you, and no one's going to serve you. So it's just like, it's like, there should just be like a no tolerance policy for these fucking people. It's really what, like, to bring a circle, it's just like a no tolerance policy. It's just like, there is like a level of being quote unquote too tolerant, and it's just like, and this is it, It's like, because, on one hand, it's like, I absolutely fucking understand, the ability to try to rehabilitate people and get, them de-radicalized and shit, but if you got, like, a motherfucker who's basically spending their lifeless, like, worthless fucking loser lives, like, running around different stores, PetSmarts, harassing people, and fucking, freaking out about the, gay fascist mafia or some shit, and how pedophiles and liberal Democrats are destroying the country from the inside and shit, and just like making videos about this, on their social media, to try to like, garner more like cultish support. It's like there's like a level of like, understanding like who could potentially be savable, who isn't, and motherfucker like that Eric Schmidt fuck just isn't. Like, I don't see that guy as savable. Sure, there's probably other people that might think similarly to him that are a lot more kind of quiet or, don't got any social media acclimate. That could be. But, for that guy, he's just a fucking hog. I mean, he's souped in it. He be living in the soup. His brain became the soup. He's one with the soup. And yet left to tell me to respect the fascist rights. I mean, it's like I respect the rights of, human rights and shit, but, it's like when it comes to someone trying to violate mine or other people's, I mean, there starts becoming a line in the sand where that starts getting drawn.
On your side, because this is just weird. It's just weird. Like, even if you're a homophobe, how can you agree with the way that he's going about this? And I say this because, does anyone remember back in like 2009, 2008, there was one of the higher-ups at some corporation, I don't remember what, but it was during the beginning of the Chick-fil-A scandals when we learned that they were donating to anti-LGBTQ plus causes or politicians. I don't remember the specifics, but anyways, this dude who was part of some corporate board, he harassed a minimum wage worker where he just went through the drive-thru, ordered a water, and he said that that minimum wage worker should be ashamed of herself for working at a homophobic organization. And guess what? Everyone was against him. Even the people who theoretically agreed with him. Even myself.
I remember that. Honestly, it's just like... It's like looking at me and saying you should be ashamed working for a company that, like, that fucking, works with other companies that exploits, child labor or some shit. It's, or whatever the fuck. It's like, because at that point, it's like, well, I could just throw that at you, bitch. Like, I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I guarantee you, that dude, absolutely is supporting a company that is anti-LGBT. Like, I mean, just because, he just doesn't know that. Like, he doesn't know that a particular company that you might buy from or invest in or some shit, but, has anti-LGBT support, or at least investment, into those type of organizations and shit. Or, like, into those particular politicians. I mean, he might not know it. No ethical consumption of capitalism, baby, so do what you want. I mean, I suppose, but... I mean, obviously, at least for me, I want to try to be the, like, ethical when I can when it comes to consumption, but obviously that's near-eye impossible outside of very exceptional circumstances, so you can only do what you can with that, but... like, still, it's just like, I mean, this whole idea you should be ashamed for working for company X or Y or whatever the fuck, like, it's just so stupid, because I'm just trying to live, bro. I'm trying to pay rent and get groceries, son of a bitch. Like, I mean, it's like, that's all I'm trying to do, like, the fuck. It's like, I don't give a shit, honestly. It's like, I'm queer as fuck, and it's like, I wouldn't give a fuck for working for Chick-fil-A. I probably would, honestly, because I want a paycheck. I don't give a shit. Like, I mean, I'm trying to live, bruh. Like, I mean, if the system was a lot more comfortable and had an ability to sustain people economically and shit, then yeah, I would pick and choose which company to go to, to work at. But no, that ain't the case. So I'm gonna pick whatever is just available at that rate. That's how most people are. Midday stream. What's up, Arlen? Yeah, having a little wake and bake and before I go to work. So. Oh. Arlie, I don't know if you ever tried the Rockstars that much, but dude, you should try this. It's a strawberry peach punch. It's a new flavor they came out with. Holy fuck, it's fire, dude. It's so fire. Oh, it's so amazing.
Who is a member of the LGBTQ plus community, because that's not the kind of advocacy that I want. You are harassing a minimum wage worker who doesn't make these decisions. And even if that worker was, like, personally homophobic, she's just there to do her job and doesn't deserve the harassment. So, like, I would imagine that homophobes, at least most of them, if they're reasonable, which they're probably not reasonable since they're homophobes, but a homophobe is probably cringing looking at this because it's like, oh, you know, I too hate the gays, but this isn't the best way to promote our cause. Like, they've got to be thinking this, right? But he thinks he's getting some dubs here when this is like a massive L.
I'm not for one for energy drinks, but every now and then, yeah, I'll have to try it out. Dang, you figured me out. It was me. Dude, there's only one person I could think of, you know, that would have the Rust Zombies, you know, in their name. And that would be you. Working close shift tonight, not excited. Me neither. I'm technically a 2:30, but I'm, you know, yeah.
It just got around like so much. Like there's one new coverage. So I'm sure
Yeah, it got a lot of press. It got a lot of press.
that is 90%.
You know, that flag is a flag of Satan, and you know I'm sick of it.
A flag of Satan? Oh, here's the supervisor saying he needs to leave. Yep, knew it, called it. Yep, she's saying he needs to leave because he's trespassing. Yeah, because, like, I called it. I mean, dude, this dude needs a citizen arrest or just to fucking just get arrested for trespassing. Something. Like, goddamn. At least there is a happy ending because I guess she got a reward and got, like, a bonus from it.
You're gonna ask me to leave?
Yes.
Oh, what? You think you're gonna get a date with her, you dumb bitch?
She, her, hers, guys. Look at that.
Okay, please leave now.
She, her. Really? You're looking at her name tag? Okay, dude, okay. You want what was funny? Like, you know, when it comes to like retail work and those name tags, you know, you can, if you want, optionally have the whole pronoun thing, right? Like cause in our break room in our store, there's like a list, you know, of like, hey, you know, next time we get a batch of like name tags made, if you want another one, you can write your name on it and, you know, or whatever name you want. And that's basically, and from there, use, you know, like if you want optionally, you know, like what position or like what department and, you know, what pronouns if you want that. So it's like, that's an optional thing, you know, and this supervisor just wanted it on her name tag, and he's all like, oh my god, wow. Oh.
Alright, I'll be back in June.
You'll be back in June? No, you won't, because you'll be cited for trespassing, and when you do come back, you're gonna get arrested, bitch.
Back in June.
Most likely won't!
I'll be calling the police. I'll call the police.
Yeah, because guess what? Oh, wait. Oh, I thought you were pro-police. I thought you're like, oh, she's calling the police. Oh, how cute. They're going to be on my side. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not, you sad little bitch. Like, admit you're gay. Look at him. Dude, can we just admit that this guy is like a grade 8, like, 90s era, like, fucking faggot, like, straight up. I'm not even kidding or using that discriminatorily at all. Like, this dude is literally a closeted little bitch and a bigoted little fuckball. Like, I mean, like, when it comes to that term, these are the fucks that, you know, deserve that name. It's like, you know, like, I know there's, like, a slight, you know, element of, you know, some lefties and LGBT folk, you know, that are kind of reappropriating that name, you know, a little bit, because I know, like, Demon Mama, you know, will use that word, because she's, you know, every now and she'll be like, yeah, I'll use the word faggot sometimes, because, yeah, even I am a faggot. You know, so, you know, and, yeah, I am too. And I can recognize, well, when I see it there, Eric, my gaydar's going off, especially if that little skimpy little mustache. Just be the twink that you are, Eric. You know you're a twink inside.
Mimicking them. Are you 4?
R.I.P. Arizona, R.I.P. USA.
Dude, if you go to Arizona, there's an off chance you're gonna have to deal with this sad fuck.
If you don't like it,
He's soy face. Dude, those are some blowjob lips if I've ever seen some, bro. Look at dude. He's like, dude, he has like the, like, I'm gonna suck some hardcore dick face right now, dude. Like, oh my god, this guy's gay as fuck.
then move to Saudi Arabia.
Oh my god, yep, dude. All it took was Mike to zoom down a little bit just so we can get the full, like, portrait shot. And yep, that is blowjob lips through and through. That is some gay blowjob lips right there, son. If I've ever seen some, dude. This guy craves the dick. This guy craves nothing but cock every day, dude. Like, all day, every day. Like, oh my god. Look, oh my lord. Wow. You insecure, sad little right-toed, fascist little Nazi bitch, bro. Like, this guy is a sad sop.
I mean, look, This dude, absolutely homosexual. One of the gayest people ever. All right? And I say
I mean, when you're like soy facing, for some dick like that, like, yeah, you are.
thinks about this shit that much. As a gay dude myself, I don't think about homosexuality as much as he does. Like, if you're this obsessed, you're telling on yourself. Yeah, this is an unfortunate pause for him. It's unrealistic to care about...
It was. Well, you know what they say, every accusation is a confession.
Sex lives yourself if you're this against it. Like, nobody thinks about these things that much. It's such a tell. Man, they're calling the police on me. I'm not scared that they're calling the police.
No, I'm not scared as I'm walking away from the store. It's like, give me a break, bro. Like, this dude is so ridiculous. I love how, like, when these weird white-toed fascist losers have, like, nothing else, they just go to mockery. Be like, are you sad? Like, that's all they have after a certain point. And it's just like, how much of an immature middle schooler little fucking retard are you, dude? It's like, where you're just like, you triggered, you could be some shit. It's like, grow the fuck up, you sad like, it's like, these are the biggest snowflakes ever. The most biggest SJW little pussy-ass bitches I have ever fucking seen, dude. Like, seriously. And they want to say that the left are a bunch of snowflakes and triggered SJWs and shit? Nope. Like, at this point, the left has evolved into woke skulls, and the right are now SJW fucking triggered snowflakes. Like, we evolved like Pokemon, and, these fucking rightoids have regressed. What would be the opposite of a Pokemon? I'm gonna have to figure that one out. I'll find out later.
Dude, they shouldn't have to do this. Like, he's already saying, well, I'll be back in June. Okay, you know what? Get a restraining order on him. Permanently ban him from coming into the store.
And permanently ban him from going into any PetSmart, period.
Have to put up with this, even though they're not bothered by it very much because they know that he's just a troll. They shouldn't have to be bothered with this. The customer shouldn't have to deal with this. It's just so ridiculous.
The destruction of America is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, you wanna know what's more of a destruction of America? The strip mall that you're in. Like, that strip mall is fucking more of a destruction to America and the land on it, more so than a fucking pride flag and LGBT acceptance, you fucking freak.
How are you guys enjoying the end times?
I love it.
You guys enjoying?
Yes.
My god, dude, I just love it. Wow. I got banned from all... Well, from what I understand, that's gonna get lifted here in a few years, right? Like, that's gonna be lifted after a certain point, so you just gotta wait a little longer.
I owned them. I went into the store with a camera up in their face. And I'm like, hey, why do you support the Satan flag? Gotcha! What a...
Oh, and now I'm being, cited for trespassing. I'm about to get the cops called on me. Oh, I owned them. Libs triggered.
Wow,
Libs owned. Getting the police called on me. Libs have been owned. Like, do these people think they're like anime characters? Well, actually, I think some of them do think they're anime characters. Like, I shall now be able to use my trap card to be able to trigger the Libs and own them for good this time. I have upgraded my powers since the last time I have done battle with the Libs. Dude, and like, in their mind, they have, like, this, like that anime, like, oh. That, like, trope is, like, where it's, like, in that internal, like, monologue thought where it's just, like, that freeze frame, which is, like, that, it's just, like, where it's, like, going for all, like, the Machiavellian 4D chess shit. Oh, my God. That's, like, that's how they fucking think about it. It's, like, some weird, like, anime, like, battle scene trope, like, dialogue that they're thinking in their head. Ugh. These sad fucking, like, are these just, like, middle schoolers that have just, like, never evolved out of middle school? Is that what's happening here? Because, like, so much of their shit just reminds me of, like, middle school, like, raunchy, edgy immaturity. Like, seriously. Like, we're in middle school, it's like, hey, look at these little faggots, look at you're being gay, what are you, or whatever the fuck. I mean, it just feels like that, dude. It just feels like immature, middle school, edgy, edgelord bullshit. I may be able to appeal for it now, but they turn me down. I have to wait 6 months. Well, I don't see any, harm in doing an appeal. I mean, might as well. Because, I mean, it's either, wait 6 months to try appeal again, or just wait until the, or just wait until the, the ban's lifted, I guess. But I don't know. I say it's worth, trying to do an appeal. I think I get one more bowl loaded up here. You know what? What is T. Jory doing? Wants to appeal it now, so it's easier to transfer all my social security stuff to Arizona. Well, I'd go for gumption.
And there's no way out of it. You're just a hamster running on a wheel from the day you're born until the day you die. And you just
damn TJ.
Endless amounts of money for someone in the upper echelons of society. This money comes pouring in, they laugh, have a grand old time. You're running on the wheel, just like, one day I'm going to get somewhere. One day I'm going to get somewhere. You're never going anywhere. You're running on a hamster wheel. And that's it.
And that means, socialist revolution?
And,
so, the revolution win?
The society that we live in is one that's like, yes, the hamster wheel is good. The hamster wheel is righteous.
No, it's not.
And then if you're aware enough to be like, why am I running on this hamster wheel? This is all pointless. This is all just meaningless, horrible garbage. That's when they start to say like, oh, well, yeah, it's true. You are running on the hamster wheel, but maybe one day you could be one of the people outside the hamster wheel making money off the suckers who are running on that son of a bitch, huh? Yeah. Just run a little bit harder than the rest of them. We'll see how industrious you are, and we'll let you out of the hamster wheel, and you'll be part of our paradigm. And occasionally, they throw a dart and hit one that they're going to let off the wheel, so they can hold them up as an example. Like, look, guys, see, it is possible to escape the hamster wheel. Look, Binky did it. Yeah, Binky's fucking one of us now. You could be too if you run harder.
Toby coming out there and step Bama to avoid dealing with stepdad. I mean, I don't mind being down in Arizona because I can mind my piece of cues and shit. I mean, if she's really that worried, I've had to deal with some very conservative family members and co-workers before as well. Like, I mean, I'm a social chameleon. I can blend in. If that's genuinely a worry, then that's okay. Like, I mean, it's not really that big of a problem.
This entire fucking system is an apple cart in desperate need of overturning.
Plus, then, Stoney could potentially visit as well. And he could just drive over. And plus, then we can have more of a secure ride, then we can just, like, go wherever the fuck we want, you know what I mean? We wouldn't have to necessarily be tied down, anywhere. Or, like, have to adhere to a very specific schedule. We can kind of free roam it. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, probably be worth it, for me to go down to Bama instead. I mean, I feel like, doing both eventually, would be a good idea, but...
George Carlin on the American Dream. Yeah.
Because I will say, if she happens to be near Phoenix, like, hypothetically, if my granddad's still down there, I could just, like, go down there with him if he comes up here, and if he's flying, then I could just fly back with him, and if y'all are down there by that point, but I doubt that, because that's going to be in March. I don't know when exactly, but in March. Probably mid-March. Oh, God. Honestly, what's giving me the most dread as of late is that. That now, like, the visiting you was a little bit of dread just because it's, like, a totally new, like, thing and just kind of just going by the seat of the pants a little bit, but this new thing is, like, that just, like, they really maximize that a lot. I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling it now and I don't like it. It could be the bump of caffeine, too. I have a lot of caffeine in me.
It's bad
caffeine,
for
caffeine.
you. It's all bullshit, folks. And it's bad for you.
It's bad for you. It's all bullshit.
Quote,
it's a big club and you ain't in it.
Dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
That, too.
But then what's the opposite of sleep? Woke!
Woke!
You're woke now!
You can't be woke.
Bunch of woke
Gotta stay
garbage.
asleep.
You believe
Because if
all
you go
these
woke, you go broke.
Dude, I swear, every time I am in a room with boomers, the word woke is literally brought up within 5 minutes.
If it's that much of a bother, you don't gotta come. No, it's not that. It's more of just like flying out to see my parents, just doing, like visiting a new state, you know, just on my own. It's more or less just doing it on my own. It's the anxiousness about it is basically adulting. It's that. It's being an adult. It's like, oh, I have to adult and, like, you know, handle this myself instead of, like, you know, with other people predominantly. This is just a all-on-me thing, basically, for the most part. Or at least, like, 85% on me. Yay, adulting! Awesome! Not really. It's that. Everything else is, you know, like, you know, has nothing to do with it. Like, visiting you, you know, potentially, even going to Bama isn't even really that big of a deal to me. You know, because I'm used to that type of culture shock at this point. You know, like, it's everything else around it isn't really that big of a deal. You know, it's just oh, I have to adult now. It's just that general anxiousness of life that, you know, kind of seeps in every now and then with certain shit.
They literally cannot get through a fucking, like, let alone not a day. They can't get through.
I mean, that same type of feeling is what I get with my granddad coming up here in like a month and a half or so, or less, or something like. You know, it's that feeling, you know, that I'm having with going to Bama is the exact same feeling I'm feeling with this. It's, you know, it has really nothing to do with the actual people or anything around it necessarily. It's just adulting with it. But yeah. Just kind of wanted a little peep at TJ and shit to kind of see what I'm in store for, you know, when I'm a Grandpa, I know you're gay. Well, I think he might know I'm bi, but I don't know. If he does, I don't even know if he really cares. Doing Spice Wars for a bit. Alright. I'll probably, like, go back and forth between TJ's stream and your stream. Looks like TJ's actually on this break right now. I love those, like, interim beats that he has. Swipe Bad Audio. Because I've listened to his compilations, I recognize that beat. But anyway, peace out. Now we'll be back after work and all that shit. And of course, I might see you in your stream, Venom.